Hello and welcome to not so much a Doddie Aid live show, but a Doddie Aid show with an extremely special guest who is dialing in from the other side of the world, which probably gives a pretty sizable clue as to who it is. We've spoken to the men at the top, Mark Beaumont, Hamish Weir and Rob Wainwright. We've spoken to other captains. We've spoken to the legend that is Mark Williams and his wife Steph, also a legend and Doddie champion. And now it's time to talk to the captain of the rest of the world. What a title, a movie title if ever there was one. Please welcome superstar, hero, and somebody that is making me feel very honoured at 7 o'clock on a Thursday morning, the one and the only Sir John Kerwin.
Well, hey mate, how are you?
Yeah,
Sorry to get out of bed so early, man. I hope you've had a little shot of whiskey in your coffee to get you going.
I've got the coffee going. No, I'm an early riser. I've got a daughter who's a swimmer, so this is actually a 2-hour sleep lie-in for me. So normally the alarm goes off at 4:58. So yeah, we're all good. JK, amazing to see you. The first time we met in person was at the Doddie dinner a few years ago. So you've obviously been involved for a long time. What was your relationship with Doddie?
It wasn't that close, to be fair, mate. Like, obviously, a huge respect for the man, and was surprised, like everybody else, when he was diagnosed with his illness, and sort of reached out. Also through Gavin and people around him. They've always said, JK, like, if we need you, would you be there? And I just said, yeah, of course. I saw him probably a few years before that dinner, and probably shocked. I didn't live it like you guys probably, so I didn't see what the illness can do on a daily basis. So when I saw him that night at dinner, it was like a very difficult but inspiring moment. He didn't seem well enough to come to that dinner, but he was determined to be there. So it was an incredible moment, humbling moment, and a moment where you need to reflect on life and understand why you do things and how you do things and what's important in life, So very important for me. And then obviously the game the next few days, came out with his boys and stuff like that, and that also hit home. So, I don't know if you saw my post last week, but my mum always told me to talk straight to people in heaven. And I know he'll be out there, and the work that you're all doing, he'll be incredibly proud of. So, yeah, that's sort of my little story.
Yeah, there's a huge amount in there, and you mentioned a few things there that are massively in your journey. All Black, at a time where rugby was absolutely king of the world, especially in New Zealand. John Kerwin was just one of those names that guys like me growing up knew, and when you were mucking around with your mates, you were pretending to be John Kerwin, and then something came along that, I don't know what phrase I'm looking for, derailed you, maybe. Can you give a little bit of insight into that?
Yeah, I mean, during my career, I had a clinical depression. So, but I didn't know what the hell was going on. It started with anxiety attacks. I didn't know what they were. When I grew up, I had no reference to mental health. So, my reference to mental health was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know what I mean? So, I felt that if I spoke to anyone, if I spoke to anyone, I'm going to get locked up with Jack Nicholson and Chiefs, the big American Indian guy. So, I didn't share any of my anxiety attacks or any of the things that were happening to me. I remember I got up one morning and I went to a radio show. I was playing a test match that week. I had these anxiety attacks, and they'd come and leave, and I'd go back to relatively normal, and because I felt that I just didn't know what they were. So I kept ignoring them. They kept coming more frequency. And, this morning early, went to a radio show. We're talking about a test match that week. And I went down into my car and I felt I went into the, bed off the walls in the morning. This guy cracked a bottle of champagne. We had a glass of champagne. And, I went down into my car and my life changed really. My heart started pounding. I started sweating. And it was the first time that I had a sort of suicidal rumination. So I was too scared to drive my car because I thought I'd drive off a cliff or drive off the harbour bridge or drive into a tree at 150 k's. So I sat there terrified and frozen for an hour and a half. And then I drove home, went to bed, woke up an hour or so later and didn't feel too bad. So I just carried on. Yeah. I just woke up and they hadn't, the anxiety attacks didn't leave. That's what I call depression. Like they just didn't, because you'd have an anxiety attack and it'll leave and you go back to relative normal. But depression for me was just didn't leave. So ignored again, and then I was just living in fear, thinking that I was going insane. And it was just, a minute felt like an hour felt like a day felt like a week. It sort of came to a head in an All Black tour in Argentina, lying in bed, sick of fighting the shit, because it takes away your self-esteem, takes away your confidence, takes away your enjoyment in life. And so I was on the 12th floor of the Hilton Hotel in Buenos Aires and decided to jump out the window. I just had enough fighting it and had enough of being alone because I was fighting it by myself, didn't tell anyone. And luckily, the guy lying next to me said, "JK, you've got a good heart," just out of the blue. His name was Sir Michael Jones, and he saved my life. So I played a test match the next day, scored 2 tries. It was irrelevant. It's like living in a dream, I was running on instinct, really. And so I got home and reached out and got some help. I went to my doctor, who was the All Black doctor. I hadn't gone to see him on tour. I'd been away for a month, didn't go and see him, but went to see him when I went home. And, often talk about courage. And we talked about Doddie, going to that dinner that night and the courage that he showed, in the face of MSD. It was incredible. Like many others I've met with illness. And so courage comes in different ways, and courage is in our own world, it's still courage. And courage for me was actually going to the doctor and telling him what I had, because I thought he was going to lock me up. I thought he was going to ring, you're going to be rooming with Jack Nicholson, JK, and there you go, straight jacket, away you go, man, you're all good. But what he said to me was, JK, it's an illness, not a weakness. So that took me, and we don't have time probably to go through the whole story now, but that's when I started my journey through to wellness, really. So, it took me probably another 5 or 7 years, but I'm incredibly well now, and don't mind talking about it, because I want everyone else to know that, mental health is normal and takes courage, but you can get through it.
It is an incredible story, and it just makes you even more, more of a hero. And I do have your book here, All Blacks Don't Cry, which was tough to read, but inspiring. And I don't know if you can pick it up there, but on the cover you've written hope in the sand, and that's something that the foundation is based on: love, fun, and hope, and giving people hope. And your story and Doddie's story has that parallel of trying to give people hope. You're obviously very active on social media, and do you get people coming up to you to talk about the impact? And have you had people say thank you for telling your story?
Yeah, like when I decided to be the face of it in New Zealand, it was the scariest thing of my life, because I thought, back then I thought I was going to ruin my reputation, lose everything that I'd worked so hard to build. And so that was the biggest risk. So I rang my mum and told her, that I was really worried about doing these, being the face of it in New Zealand, doing these TV ads. And she said to me, son, if you could help one person, is it worth it? And so the answer was yes, because I didn't want anyone to live this hell, And I think the great thing about it now is I get very quickly into really deep conversations with a stranger about how they are in their mental health, and it's just a real gift. And I feel really, really honoured that people, want to share their story. Or, the All Blacks Don't Cry. One of the biggest compliments I got about that is people tell me that they think they wrote it, right? Because they can identify so much with what's in that story of my journey. So, yeah, it's been, Bruce, it's been an incredible journey for me. I go to schools now. I'm going down South Island next week to go and visit schools, and they don't know me as a rugby player, mate.
Yeah.
I'm that mental health guy. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, but there's still lots of work to do. I know in Scotland, you guys are useless, man. Scotland is so shit at talking about this stuff. You're probably 10 years behind everyone else, so you need to kick up the arse over there to start talking about it, especially males, because it's not a it's not a weakness. It's just an illness, and if we understand this like any other illness, and that's Doddie and all you crew over there that are doing so much work, we'll find a cure for this. With the money you raise, we'll find a cure. Doddie will looking down going, I told you in my time, but that's selfish she was. So, and it's about mental health. The more we talk about it, the more you understand it, the quicker you can get better. So that's normalize the stigma away and try and help as many people as possible.
Yeah, amen. It's funny you mentioned that, because I've said that there are people who don't remember Doddie Weir as a rugby player. Doddie Weir was the MND guy, or Doddie Weir was the guy that was wearing tartan. But as long as you can identify with him in some way, you can get the message across. The first time I met you, I told you this story because I wasn't sure I'd ever get to speak to you again, but you did a podcast a while ago called Don't Tell Me the Score. And I've listened to that at least half a dozen times. It's one of the best listens. It's kind of if I'm driving somewhere, or if there's, I don't know, I just think, all right, do you know what? I'm going to have a little shot of JK on that podcast, because you tell that story about Iceman Michael Jones saying to you, you've got a good heart, and you tell the story about running through the trees to sharpen up your agility and being a butcher's son, and you tell all those, and it's just such a great listen. It gives me a huge amount of comfort and hope and inspiration. So thank you. You're reaching out to so many people, and I'm not surprised people enjoy speaking to you. When you talk about raising awareness and and amen about mental health in this country, it's another part of the crusade that I think many of us are on. Is MND known in New Zealand? Is motor neuron disease something that is spoken about in New Zealand?
No, not as much as sort of the awareness that you guys have given it and Doddie gave it. So not really. There's a lot of I think probably pre-Doddie, a lot of those behind closed doors, and I haven't heard of too many in New Zealand, because what happens is it seems to go behind closed doors from what I can gather here in New Zealand. So I mean, I'm sure the stats are probably similar per capita here as well. There's no one in my circle at the moment that's had it. I think I had someone in the family that got it. And so the understanding of it, and probably my understanding, has been really heightened by Doddie. That I went to when I came to that dinner, and then I met another amazing man the next night at Scott and Gavin's sort of gig, and I was talking to him through his iPad, and it was just this beautiful moment, because he totally took the piss out of me on the iPad. It was like so good. And I just cannot imagine being trapped like that in your body and having the brains that they have and the awareness that they have. It must be, talk about mental health. It must be just the most courageous thing you can think of. Can I take my hat off, mate? Because it's like summer here. It's
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
dying here, brother. I'm dying here.
I'm guessing that would have been Ewan McDonald. Ewan McDonald was a big mate of the Hastings boys, and the MND Centre at Edinburgh University is named after Ewan McDonald, and I'm guessing that was him. Sadly, he passed away last year.
It was Ewan, and he was the longest liver. He was the longest living
Yeah.
guy when I met him. You know.
Yeah. Incredible.
And I remember him writing, "You had a shit sidestep, JK." I felt really bad saying to someone else, "Fuck you," you know. It just made it such a beautiful moment for me. It was one of the human nature stories. It was just a absolutely beautiful moment. I will never forget it.
It's like you say though, the brain's still there, the brain's still sharp. And Ewan McDonald was a very smart guy. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I love it. And you got to be captain of the rest of the world.
Yeah. How good. I don't know. I mean, I've only ever captained once when I was a young fella, and I got sent off. So I don't know how long it'll last. You probably need a better captain, Bruce. You know, because I'm not really that good at that sort of stuff. I'm a winger. I'm a winger. You know, we're like we're artists, mate. We're not really rugby players. We're, you know, like I said to you, we're different. You know what I mean?
Do you know when I played in New Zealand and I played in Hamilton, it was the first time I'd ever heard the phrase "show pony."
Yeah, that's us, mate. Yeah, like we look good. That's our whole goal. Like, you know, that's why I said to Doddie in heaven, you know, he'll be so disappointed because God's a winger. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to do any hard work. Why? Tell me any good reason for hitting a ruck. Like, who invented that shit? Why would you get enjoyment out of it?
I would love to know what your other conversations with Michael Jones were, because he was no show pony.
Yeah, no, it was really easy. Michael, I'm not going to any rucks, and if anyone comes near me, can you please tackle them before they get to me? Pretty easy, you know. And can you really smack them hard so they don't really want to run around my way anymore?
And he did that. He did that relentlessly. Another absolute hero. I met him in Hong Kong at the Sevens. Another incredible guy. When you're talking about rugby, there's a fair bit of turmoil in New Zealand at the moment. And I saw again, watching you on social media, you said something, and I actually have to admit I stole it. I host a Scottish rugby podcast across here, and I stole one of your lines or one of your bits because I heard you saying, "Look, this is humans. Let's just be careful what we say." So it's obviously been a bit of turmoil with Razor leaving, new coach coming in, a lot of mud flying. What's the situation like on the ground?
Yeah, look, and I think this is I love football, right? I love football. My son's a professional football player in Italy. You know, I love watching football. I'm great mates with Alessandro Del Piero. I think it's a great sport, and I hate when rugby people compare rugby to football, but it has been professional for a long, long time. So, you know, when you live in Italy, they'll say, "I wonder if the coach will last till Christmas." You know what I mean? So when things like this happen in rugby, it really affects us. So, you know, I don't want us to go down that road. I want us to make sure that we have the courage, and this is really World Rugby that need to have the courage, to keep some of those values in our game. So, you know, Razor gave his 100%. You know, he was incredibly passionate about the All Black jersey. He had 9 titles at the Crusaders, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, right? And I think that David coming in as chairman, they did a really good process. There's been some rumours about, I'm playing, you're not playing. That's just bullshit, man. Like, players of his caliber and people like us, we don't do that. What I heard, and I wasn't involved in the process, was that it was a very good process. So the process was culture, and the future. So I believe that the process was done right, and in the end, Razor decided it was time to move. As we market don't have a hit of performance, it'll be stuff, and when you look at Razor's win record, it's 74%. Not too many people resign from the job, and it's that. But that is our country. This is a religion, and we want to be successful. We also believe that South Africa is leading the way, and lead the way. We like to be the innovators. We like to be the people that are leading the way. So there's a lot happening down here. I think Dane Cole's just got pulled in, and I love the new committee. I don't know if you've seen it, Bruce. The committee that's that's actually going to be selecting the new All Black coach. But when you've got Don Tricker, who's an amazing high performance guy with the Padres in America, David Kirk, ex All Black captain, Kevin Mialamu, over 100 games, Steve Lancaster, good Maris man, mate, good Catholic boy, So God will be in there with God will be in there in the rooms with Lanks, because anyone who doesn't go to Maris doesn't go to heaven. So, and then I think Dane Coles is, so the only thing that worries me is we've got 3 buffheads in one back. You know what I mean? So we've got Kevin Mialamu in the front row, we've got Dane Coles in the front row, and we've got Steve Lancaster who's the lock. So we're probably in the shit from the start. But anyway, there's not enough wingers on the panel. But jokes aside, I think these guys are exactly the right people to choose what a coach would look like, because I'm sure you've seen some appointments, over your way. You think, what is that person doing on the board? What would they know? And they'll come out with some bullshit like, oh, he understands media or understands marketing. No, this is about winning football games, people. All the other shit falls into line if you win a football game. Life's pretty good when you win football games,
It's amazing how forgiving the world is when you win a game. Although maybe not in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, winning is it's a different. When you look in the dictionary in New Zealand for winning, it means you got to win the World Cup, the Bledisloe Cup, the Championship, the Northern Tour, and if you lose one game, that's not good enough.
Yeah, no, I was a buddy of mine used to work with the Blues, and I was there for the first day of pre-season, but the All Blacks weren't there, and Kevin Mialamu arrived in this van, and it was like a cartoon. He slid the back door open, and about 150 kids got out the back of this van, but the players were having a water break. And as soon as Kevin Mialamu got out the car and shut the door, they almost stood up straighter.
Yeah.
There was a noticeable change when he arrived, and he wasn't there. He was there for about 25 minutes, half an hour, but there was a noticeable change in the body language. So when I saw he was involved, I was like, switched on. David Kirk's obviously. So who do you think's getting it? Who's your money on?
Well, apparently 11 applied, which I thought was a massive number considering the criteria. I think it's down to 3. And I think that, that 3 for me would be Jamie Joseph, probably Dave Rene, and I don't know who the other one is by any means. I don't know who the other one would be. I wouldn't even start to guess. Possibly Gats, Warren Gatland. So I really think I really like Jamie. I mean, I love Dave Rennie. I would like to see Dave and Jamie work together. I think Jamie has some longevity if he gets the role. I know we talk about longevity around winning, but I think what we got away from, and I was the same, mate. So what happened was, we'd had a system where the assistant took over, and that was from Graham Henry's time, and everyone was sort of over that, but it might have some merit. So I think the secret for New Zealand is to pick the 3 best coaches, and if they've applied, work out if they can work together, So it's really interesting times. I think it's going to be pretty soon as well.
Oh, nice. Good to hear. And we're about to kick off the Six Nations up here. Does it touch the sides in New Zealand? Do Kiwis like to watch the Six Nations?
Well, I do. Yeah, I love the Six Nations. I think it's one of the greatest tournaments in the world. And a lot of people down here go, the bloody Six Nations, they won't change for anybody. And I'm going, yeah, you should go up there because it's like this massive party and it's just a great event. And, and there's a beautiful Māori saying, mate, it says, if you want to have hope and faith in the future, you must first stand on the shoulders of the past. And so I just love the Six Nations. I love watching it. I think it's so tight that it comes down to home and away. I'm unfortunately not picking you guys to win, but I think it'll be between France. It'll be between France and England, I believe.
Yeah.
I think Ireland are sort of trying to refine their feet a wee bit, but then I haven't been up to speed on where the home games are. So, if France are playing at home against Ireland and England, then I'd probably tip them.
Yeah, they kick off tonight, our time, against Ireland in France. So, yeah, big one. And you're an Italian supporter, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I totally am. And although I do believe in a promotion relegation for the Six Nations, but if you tell any Scotsman that, he'll probably throw his haggis at you, because it's that 60 million pounds you guys get every year for being part of the tournament. You're going to die before you give that up. But I'm just really pleased the Italians are improving. I think they've got a great midfield of Minicello. I think they've got a good round team that can beat anyone. So, and they need to, that they've been in there 20 odd years now. So they need to make sure that they start picking up those scalps. I think, the URC has been amazing for Italian rugby, and, the South Africans, the traders that left us down here in the Southern Hemisphere and went up to you guys for the money. I think they've helped your URC. So.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. There's a kid Lina. Is he any relation to you?
In relation to Michael Lina, yeah, Michael and I played together in 1990. Shit, which year was it? I can't remember. And we both met our wives and stuff. So there you go. And so Noddie's sons, one's playing for Aussie, one's playing for Italy. So that's pretty good. That'd be a good argument in the house.
An interesting one. It looks like he's enjoying life. Another show pony in the JK mold.
Yeah, mate, how good? Like a good winger, a good winger should have a change of jersey and shorts in the change room for halftime in case he got dirty. Right, mate. I took gel to the All Blacks. Look how that took off. Even the buffhead props wear it now. Come on, brother. Like, think about the things we brought to the game: tighter shorts, gel.
I love it. I took gel. There'll be people watching going, "What's gel?"
What do you call it?
No, I'm pretty sure the young kids will have some. I've not got any gel. I'm in your team now. I've not touched gel since the 90s. I don't think. Life is good. JK, before you go, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate this. I know you're a busy man and you've got so many things that you champion and get involved with, and you've got to work and live and have time to yourself. So thank you for giving up some time to speak to us. But I'd like to give you the floor just to finish off on a JK moment of give us some hope and inspiration for the MND community, if you can, please.
Yeah, I went to my mum once and I said, Mum, I'm dead. I'm dead inside, I don't really want to live. And my mum said, well, the good news, son, is you're still here. And I said to her, yeah, I am, Mum. And she said, can you change yesterday? And I said, no, Mum, I can't change yesterday. She said, can you tell me what's going to happen tomorrow? And if you can you tell me the lotto numbers? And I said, no, Mum, I can't give you the lotto numbers. And she said, just be great today, son. Just be as happy as you can today. Just make sure you make the most out of today and be the best that you can be. And then when you lie in bed at night, sometimes if you haven't achieved that, you can get back up tomorrow and give it another crack. And I think that really changed my life. And I think if you put one day at a time and you live your best day today, then they start mounting up. And so for me, you know, the inspiration that I get from all of you, you know, what you're doing for Doddie and what you're doing for his legacy, but it's also important that you live today your best day and then get up and give it another crack tomorrow. And the other thing she said to me, and I wasn't well at all, she said, and make sure you smell the roses, you know. And I went home, I thought, what the bloody hell is smelling the roses going to be for me, you know? And the next morning I got up and had a shower and I felt the water run over me. And it was the best 3 minutes of my life, you know. Guess how the rest of my day went?
All good.
No, it went like shit. But I had the shower. I had the shower to look forward to. And then I started adding a cup of coffee to that and a walk. And so slowly I rebuilt my life from one thing that I could look forward to. And I still love my shower, but I've got so many things to look forward to because I built those into my day. And so, you know, that was Mum's wisdom. And also, congratulations to me. Can you say that, Bruce? Congratulations to me.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah. Don't forget to say that to yourself because you're doing a great job. You're a dad. You're giving your time, right? And I think sometimes we forget to say to ourselves that we're doing pretty good, man. You know, we're going okay. So it's been a real pleasure, man, to be part of this. And I'm looking forward to the All Blacks coming over and kicking your ass again.
Yeah, it's the hope that kills us, JK.
Yeah, hey, don't tell me about that, mate. You nearly got us in November. That was a great game of football, and I love Gregor. I think you know, I don't think you're going to win the Six Nations, but you know, you're going to scare some people, and I think there's, you know, Italy's just starting to learn how to win, and I just think it's that next step for you guys to go from sort of third to first, you know, but you'll get there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of nearlies, and maybe in my lifetime, maybe one. My football team won the Scottish Cup after 116 years, so I feel very lucky to be alive and having seen that and witnessed it with my old man. So who knows? Maybe I'll see Scotland beat the All Blacks as well.
Yeah, it'll come one day.
Yeah, I hope I'm there. JK, an absolute honour and pleasure. Great to see you. I hope you've had a great day. You can definitely tick this one off as something positive that you've done. So thank you for it. And you've started my day off with an absolute bang. I got to speak to an All Black this morning, not just any All Black, Sir John Kerwin. So thank you, sir. Look after yourself. We'll see you in November.
Thank you. See ya.
Great to see you. Awesome. Absolutely loved it. What a hero. I stole him for over half an hour and I could have been there for a whole heap longer. I hope you've enjoyed it. That is us signing off for Doddie Aid 2026. We've been here since 2021 and it looks like we'll be back next year. Keep going. You've got a few more miles to rack up. We finish up at midnight on Thursday, which I think is today. Thank you for all your efforts through the month of January and this kickoff of February. Enjoy the Six Nations and look after yourself. And as JK says, make sure you congratulate yourself for the contribution that you've made over this period. And I hope you have a great day today and another great day tomorrow. And then we keep going to support each other with love, with fun, and with hope. Bruce Aitchison definitely signing off this time. Thank you.